All right, welcome everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Transportation Tuesday. I am Mileage Mike, and it is another sunny summer day out here in colorful Colorado. Hope the weather's nice where you are. And today we got several stories to talk about, including one from none other than California. And honestly, it seems like there's always something going on in California. Also, I hope everyone enjoyed the Interstate 285 video from last Friday. It looks like it's doing its rounds right now, doing pretty well. And this Friday, we're going to be doing a video that involves our neighbors to the north up there in Canada. So make sure you tune in on Friday for that one. Outside of that, everything is all good. The content is consistent. Feels good to be here. And since we got quite a few stories to talk about today, I don't want to make this intro too long, so let's go ahead and get into the content. Now, this first story is in a place that you probably would not expect. It's a place that we don't talk about too much because normally there's not too much going on. But of all places, Boise, Idaho is building a major new roadway. Let's check it out.
This section of Highway 16 just yet, but progress from Emmett to the interstate is well underway here in the Treasure Valley. I'm your neighborhood reporter, Alexander Huddleston, going behind the construction cones with ITD for a sneak peek tour of the connector.
It's a vital north-south route through the Treasure Valley.
For the last couple of years, ITD has been working on the Highway 16 connector from I-84 to Highway 44. I joined ITD on Monday afternoon to see the progress being made on the massive project.
Quite a few bridges going in this area for this next project.
First stop was the Highway 16 I-84 interchange, which will eventually add on and off ramps between the existing 10-mile and Garrity exits.
This will be a great connection from north-south for people of Middleton, Star, Emmett.
They just continue similar to the Y, the I-184 down by Boise, and there is no stop, and they just keep going 65 miles an hour over top of everything and going north.
So if you're exiting to Franklin Road, you'll come to a stoplight. If you're using the system to flyover ramps, you'll go system to system. You'll go I-84 with no stop, at speed, joining State Highway 16.
Dan Gorley.
All right, so let me show you guys what we're talking about here because most people probably are not familiar with Boise. So let's go to our Google map. So here we are, Boise, Idaho. So this is the center of Boise right here. This is the main city. So this new highway that they're talking about is this line right here. And if we go to the satellite imagery, we can see where the construction is. And there's where that interchange is. You see the work is already underway. The land is already cleared. And it's partially built already up here. See, this interchange right here is already built. And it looks like they still have yet to upgrade this portion. But if you look at Boise, now Boise has quietly been one of the fastest growing metro areas in the country. It's a sleeper hit. So if you want to go somewhere with a nice cost of living, a lot of people have been moving up to Boise, Idaho. And as of right now, Boise only has two freeways. They have Interstate 84 and 184. And when I went up there last fall, it was last fall, 84 was pretty busy. So I was kind of wondering where or when Boise was going to get another freeway because their population has been growing. In fact, let me show you. Let me show you Boise. Boise has been making moves. There it is, Boise. Number 74 right now in the country. But look at this. Over the past 30 years, 24%, 32%, 45% growth. Boise is on this way. So it's no wonder that they need this. They're building this new freeway right here. So yeah, look at that. So here we are. State Highway 16. So this is what the full project is going to be. There's that I-84 interchange right there. So it's going to run all the way up to State Highway 44 up here near right there, the town of Star. So Star and Eagle are two pretty upscale Boise suburbs, if I recall. So this is definitely going to help with some movement in this part of the area. So there's the whole map of the project right there. So yeah, Boise is getting their infrastructure up. Way to go, Idaho.
The design construction engineer said thanks to extra funding from the state and a drier winter, they have been able to get a lot more done in recent months.
And we just started constructing the main line that's going to go over Ustick.
The new section of roadway is considered controlled access, which means you can only get on or off at certain intersections, which will include the Interstate Franklin, Ustick, Chinden, and Highway 44. IC is expecting to have this project done in 2027, but if you have any other questions, they'll be hosting a general informational meeting for Highway 16 project at Gym Prep Meridian North on Wednesday from 4:30 to 6:30 p.m.
All right, so that's that. Boise, Idaho. Boise, Idaho is getting a new freeway. And speaking of new projects, you know Texas is always building something new, so they're always in the news from some new infrastructure. And this time it is a brand new shiny bridge down in Corpus Christi, the Harbor Bridge. Let's take a look at that one. So these guys went and drove over the new bridge. I'm kind of jealous because I didn't get to go down there and drive it myself yet. It's such a long drive. But I'll definitely have to make my way down there. So let's take a look at that bridge.
After the traffic shifted onto the new Harbor Bridge, I hit record and hit the gas. Towering high above the bay, this massive structure is now the tallest in South Texas, and driving across it, well, it is a whole new experience. I'll be honest, I had a few butterflies there as I headed up the climb, but I wanted to bring you along for the ride to show you what it feels like behind the wheel. Take a look. All right, y'all. Can't believe this is happening. We are about to drive over the brand new Harbor Bridge. The lanes are open. The southbound lanes are open. It's a partial opening. Take a look at that huge Texas flag. To
of course, just like Texas.
We're starting to go over the bridge. Very smooth ride. You know, earlier I had some folks tell me, hey, we're going to go to Portland and camp out and wait to be the first ones to drive over the bridge. And that created a traffic backup for some folks. Some were a little too early. They had to be rerouted to the old bridge, the new bridge, the southbound lanes. And again, the southbound lanes are the ones that go from Portland to Corpus Christi. They opened up right around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. I can't explain the feeling I have right now. You know, this is excitement. Some people were nervous to drive over the bridge. Right now, it's pretty smooth. It's not bad at all. And this bridge is much longer than the old bridge. I'm told about 5.5 football fields in length. Can you believe that? Man, these cables are just massive. I'm driving right next to them. We're about to go over.
All right. Well, aside from that beautiful, beautiful structure that you see right there, a smooth pavement. Man, this guy, you get to drive a bridge like that when it first opens. How often do you get to do that? So let me show you where this is going on. Zoom out of Boise and head on down to Texas and Corpus Christi. So if you look right here, the new Harbor Bridge is right here. The old Harbor Bridge is right here. So this replaced that one. There's no satellite imagery just yet, as you can see, because it's brand new. But that is the old Harbor Bridge, so this is a great improvement. And that's downtown Corpus Christi to the south. And then you see Portland up here. And I actually have a video of the old Harbor Bridge for comparison. And this one, that one looks way better. So this is what the old one looked like. Look at this. Not even, doesn't even compare. Like, this definitely looks like a 20th century bridge right here. And so I think it's still standing. They didn't tear it down or anything yet, if I recall. But that's your old Harbor Bridge. And you can actually see the construction of the new one over there to the left, because I took this video back in May 2023. So yeah, now this new one is like, that is sexy.
The hump, the middle of the bridge right now, and of course the bridge does connect to the Crosstown Expressway, and you still have those gorgeous views. You have the port on one side, you have Corpus Christi Bay and the bayfront on the other. Here we go, we're starting our descent. This is absolutely amazing. Long time coming, it faced delays. I live in Portland, and so driving over the old bridge,
look at that view.
Glance over day after day, week after week, month after month, and see the progress that is being made. This is going to be a game changer for Corpus Christi and the surrounding area.
All right, looks like I got to make my way down to Corpus Christi sometime in the future, and you should too if you want to check out this new Harbor Bridge. Good job, Texas. Always one of the first to get it done. Now for this next story, I saw many of you mentioning this in the comments on some of the previous videos, so I had to go check it out for myself. And it's only fitting since we recently talked about Interstate 4, but Florida has passed a new speed law to crack down on what they call super speeders. So let's take a look at this.
To take effect in July aims to crack down on dangerous speeding.
The law will target those who choose to go 50 miles over the speed limit or more than 100 miles an hour. News Channel 8's Capitol Bureau reporter Mackenzie Laporte is inside the State House to explain the penalties.
Now, before we even get further into the video, I'm going to go ahead and say I agree with the law. There is never a case where you need to be going over 100 miles per hour or 50 miles over the speed limit. So good on Florida.
Could face.
Some say the new law is a life-saving measure, hoping to crack down on extreme speeders. But critics warn it could backfire, landing drivers behind bars for a split-second decision.
You can't drive 50 miles an hour over the speed limit and not think that's not excessive and it's dangerous.
For those that choose to speed recklessly, a new law signed in by Governor Ron DeSantis targets drivers going 50 miles over the speed limit or driving 100 miles per hour or more. A first-time offense lands you up to 30 days in jail and up to a $500 fine. And for repeated offenses, up to 90 days in jail and up to a $1,000 fine. Now, while the bill passed in both the House and Senate, Democrats say it's overly broad and will hurt everyday Floridians.
It's constitutionally overbroad. It is incredibly invasive. It's going to clog our court systems in a way that none of us can imagine. The bill makes sense. Speeding kills. We want to punish people more severely for speeding. It's not well thought out in its enforcement and inaction. I would urge you, we need to reconsider this. Tee it up next session. It's not a good bill. It's not in a great posture.
But supporters of the bill push for much needed change. State Senator Jason Pizzo shared a personal story of a reckless driving incident that inspired this effort.
A woman who was had no insurance, was doing about 85 miles an hour, had lights off, went right through a red light.
No insurance.
And killed Anthony.
Just like we said about I-4.
Right in front of his sister.
Pizzo says the driver paid an $85 ticket, and that's it.
One of the things...
$85 for killing someone. Wow. Come on, man.
We can control is how many people get killed on the roadways. And so if it's a deterrent, if it saves any one of our pages' lives, God forbid one day, it's worth it.
Despite pushback from some members, the bill made it through session and the governor.
All right, so the bill did pass, and I think this law is in effect. And they actually have pulled over someone. As soon as it took effect, someone got pulled over. Florida, of course. Let's take a look.
The speed limit's 70 miles an hour. You're doing 104 from the behind. As of 3 minutes ago, it is now an arrestable offense to do in excess of 100 miles an hour in the state of Florida.
A man in Orange County caught driving 104 miles an hour just 2 minutes after a new law took effect. Officers all across Florida are now able to arrest drivers going more than 100 miles an hour. It's all part of the new super speeder law that went into effect on July 1st.
And that new law comes just as one of the busiest travel periods of the year gets underway. Fox 35's Morgan Parrish has more on road safety ahead of the 4th of July holiday.
The roads are filling up fast, and not just here in Central Florida. AAA estimates more than 72 million Americans will travel by car this 4th of July weekend, with Orlando topping the list of domestic destinations.
With Central Florida being the #1 domestic travel destination for July 4th, this holiday, we are upping our staffing and we are ensuring our Road Ranger team are ready and willing to assist.
The Florida Department of Transportation is activating its safety patrol, assisting stranded drivers and working to clear crashes quickly to prevent backups.
I've seen a lot over the years, and safety has always been at the heart of everything that FDOT does, right? We want everybody to get home safely. But really in the last 4 to 5 years, we really have this renewed focus on safety, which we call Target Zero. And that's a goal of 0 fatalities and serious injuries on our roadways.
And with Florida's new super speeder law now in effect, cracking down on drivers going 50 plus miles per hour over the limit, FHP says they already caught one violator just minutes after midnight on July 1st.
The reason being stopped, the speed limit's 70 miles an hour. You're doing 104.
If you're doing 50 miles over the
104.
speed limit, or again 100 or more, you could face 30 days in jail and a $500 fine, or both. If you do a second time, it could be 90 days in jail, a $1,000 fine, or both.
Troopers will be able.
Ooh, get him. Get him. So what do we say on the I-4 video, guys? Interstate 4 in Florida. Excessive speeders and uninsured drivers. And just like that politician said in the previous video, an uninsured driver speeding killed someone and only got a fine. So I'm all for this if it helps improve the safety in Florida, because Florida is one of the most dangerous places to drive.
High alert all weekend, watching for reckless, impaired, and distracted drivers. The message: buckle up, slow down, and don't drive under the influence.
Let's make sure everybody gets home safe. We all want to enjoy this 4th of July holiday together, so let's make those smart driving choices. You get there when you get there.
Whether you're hitting the beach, heading to fireworks, or grilling at home, officials say they want your holiday to end with memories, not...
All right, so in Florida, going forward, if you drive over 100 miles per hour or 50 miles over the speed limit, you can go and land right in jail. Good job, Florida. Now, if you guys remember, a few months ago, we talked about the federal government, Sean Duffy and the Trump administration having issues with the California high-speed rail and saying they want to defund this thing because they're saying it's too far over budget and it's ended up becoming a boondoggle. Well, there's been an update on that issue, so let's take a look here at the California high-speed rail.
The future of California's high-speed rail may be on the line as state leaders await the green light for $4 billion in critical funding.
Today is the deadline for the state to respond to the Federal Rail Authority's claim that the project is going nowhere fast. Today in the Bay is Chris Sanchez in our newsroom this morning. And Chris, the Rail Authority CEO is actually putting his money where his mouth is.
Well, good morning to you, Marcus and Laura. So part of California's response is a plan to dedicate $1 billion in state clean energy funds toward that high-speed rail project. Now, in case you're not up to speed on the high-speed rail fight, the Federal Railroad Administration notified the state that it was not in compliance to receive $4 billion in grants because of costly order changes, missed deadlines, reduced ridership projections, and such, making for, quote, no viable path forward. Now, the California High-Speed Rail Authority responded that the federal agency came to that conclusion through, quote, inaccurate, often outright misleading presentation of evidence, and that the state is, in fact, in compliance. The state rail CEO included in the rebuttal that the state is dedicating $1 billion from the state's climate emissions program, according to the Chronicle, and at the American Public Transportation Association conference in San Francisco last month, they said that they would help bring in private partners in that way. And we talked with a member of San Jose State's Mineta Transportation Institute who agrees that there is a way forward.
This is going to take longer if federal support is withheld. We do see, I think, the state stepping up to deliver it more quickly. But it is true, you know, for all mega projects, and this is the mega project of mega projects.
Well, he is right about that. This California high-speed rail is the mega project of mega projects. It is already the second most expensive transportation infrastructure project in U.S. history, and it's not even done yet. It is second only to the interstate highway system in cost. Now, he's saying that if the federal government withholds the funds, that the state will do it. Trust me, guys. If the federal government doesn't help fund this thing, it's probably not going to happen. California has a large budget deficit right now, and this project is extremely expensive. So if the federal government doesn't fund this, I don't see it getting completed in this lifetime. But we shall see. Let's see what else the video has to say.
Time is the enemy, time is money.
We also talked with Senator Dave Cortese, who says that California is entitled to every one of those $4 billion, given that it's a donor state, meaning that California sends $81 billion more in taxpayer dollars than what the state gets back in federal services. He says no matter how you feel about the train itself, you should demand a fight for your tax dollars.
If you have questions about the project itself, or change orders, or costs, think of those as one bucket of things to worry about, and think about the federal government taking money away from us as another bucket of things that no good comes from. That is putting people to work right now in California.
The federal government has claimed that the state hasn't made much progress, but there is a lot of infrastructure work in the Central Valley to counter that. And the rail line between San Jose and San Francisco is already electrified and ready to go. In fact, it's in use with local transit. If the Federal Rail Authority rejects California's justification for its progress and yanks the $4 billion, we are likely to see this issue go to court. Laura?
All right. Well, with this administration, I wouldn't be surprised if they do yank the funding. So I think this is probably going to end up in court. And once we find out the outcome of that, I will be sure to follow up and let you guys know. But California high-speed rail, I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot of it in the news for the rest of this administration. And now the last story, just want to go over real quick. One of you guys emailed me about this down in North Carolina. Interstate 85, some traffic congestion relief is on the way to the Charlotte area. And let me show you what we are dealing with. The headline says 4 miles of I-85 are gaining a lane following this contract award. And there you see Charlotte right there in the back. This is actually 77 in this image they have. And this is going to be by Lane Construction, who is the company that builds a lot of the highway infrastructure in North Carolina. And if you look at the map, where's our Google map? Let's go over to Carolina. So here's the Charlotte area. And if you look at it, Charlotte's right here, Gastonia is here. And for Interstate 85, it's 8 lanes all the way through Mecklenburg. But once you come across this bridge right here, you drop a lane, and congestion usually packs in right here as soon as that lane drops down to 6 lanes in this stretch right here. So, as you can see right there, that's the lane drop. So what this project, let's see what the traffic looks like right now. See, yep. Got your backup right here. That interchange is always backed up also. So this extra lane is going to be added between this exit as soon as you get into Mount Holly and over to, I believe, this one right here for Lowell. This is exit, no, this one, exit 23 right here to 27. So this little stretch right here to the Catawba River is going to become 8 lanes. So congratulations, Gaston County. A little bit of progress is on the way. Now, eventually, I do believe North Carolina is going to widen this all the way to Kings Mountain. So eventually that is all coming out there. Don't be surprised if it eventually, at some point, reaches the South Carolina state line, because I think South Carolina is in the progress, or if they haven't already, widened their portion. So don't be surprised if North Carolina eventually does that too. So they're going to modify Wilkinson Boulevard, and a lot of these bridges are going to either be rebuilt or rehabilitated. And construction starts in the summer of next year. So Interstate 85 in the Charlotte area. Some relief is on the way. And all right, guys, that is it for another episode of Transportation Tuesday. Hope you guys enjoyed all the topics. And I know there are a lot more topics to cover. Some of you sent me some, and there is a lot in the queue. So trying to do as many as possible. Let me know what you think about these stories down in the comments. And I will see you next week for the next edition of Transportation Tuesday.